Welcome everyone to another recorder lesson. Casper, can you believe that we already know 5 notes on the recorder? We know the B-A-G, which spells bag, and we know the C and the D. Yes, Miss Piggy. And have you noticed that we have also met several birds in our recorder lesson? You are right, Casper. First, there was the owl with the hoo, hoo, hoo and the too, too, too. Then there was the cuckoo in your granny's cuckoo clock, which reminds us how to play the C or K, like in cuckoo, on the recorder. And last week, we heard the story of Dee Dee the dove. She helps us remember that the front door and the back door of the recorder, that is double door D, have to be open. Oh, and what is this? Is this another bird flying into our lesson? Hello, 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 hello. I am Peter the pilot. And who have we here? Hello, Peter the pilot. I am Miss Piggy. And this here is Casper. Hello, Peter the pilot. Welcome to our recorder lesson. What brings you here? Well, I always loved watching the birds fly freely around in the sky and cheerfully chirping their songs. I have learnt how to fly like a bird in the sky. I became a pilot. Now I would like to learn how to make music like the birds. I do believe that you have come to the right place. We have just been talking about all the birds we have come across in our recorder lesson. Wow, you learned how to fly an aeroplane? Is it difficult? How do you make sure that you don't fall out of the sky? I believe that if you learn something and then practice it often enough, that it becomes easier and easier. Eventually you can do it automatically. And to make sure that we have a safe flight, we pilots have a before takeoff checklist. What is a before takeoff checklist? It is a list of things that need to be checked outside and inside the aeroplane before taking off, to make sure that everything is working and safe. There are about 19 things that we need to check. For example, the auxiliary fuel pump must be off. The flight controls must be free and correct. And instruments and radios must be checked and set. The seat belts must be fastened. The parking brake must be off. And so on and so on. How do you remember all those things? You say that there are 19 things to check. I can't even remember the few that you mentioned. We have a written checklist that we go through to make sure that we don't forget anything. But while we're talking about aeroplanes, I came here to learn about making music. Will you teach me how to make music like a bird? We are the assistants, so we can help you learn how to play the recorder. Here is our teacher.
Hello everyone. Oh, And who do we have here?
May I introduce you to Peter the pilot? He arrived here in his aeroplane and wants to learn how to make music like the birds. He was just telling us about the before takeoff checklist.
Welcome to our recorder lesson, Peter. I think your idea of a checklist is the perfect way to revise what we've learnt on the recorder so far and to show you what we have learnt. So, Miss Piggy and Casper, what do you think we should put first on that checklist? Think back to our first lesson.
In the first lesson, we learnt the owl exercise.
A brilliant suggestion, Miss Piggy. We can warm up with a breathing exercise. So we must remember to sit up straight, relax our shoulders and go hoo, 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 hoo. And then we can also repeat it with a t, tu, 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 and so on.
Oh, we also have to use our tongue when we blow into the recorder. You also showed us that the left hand must be at the top of the recorder and the right hand holds the recorder at the bottom. And what about the pig snouts that have to cover the holes of the recorder? The pig snouts?
Yes, Peter, you may be wondering what pig snouts have to do with the recorder. But if you go and watch the first lesson, our first lesson on YouTube, then you will see that we spoke about a rhyme for which I drew pig faces on my fingers. And the snouts of those pigs were exactly where the puffy bit of our finger is, and that puffy bit fits perfectly into the holes to make sure that they are properly closed. What happens if the holes are not properly closed?
The recorder squeaks like a squealing pig. Oh, it sounds terrible and hurts my ears. And when you blow into the recorder, you have to blow gently, as if you were blowing soap bubbles. Otherwise, you also get a squeaky sound. Blowing softly and evenly gives you a beautiful sound.
Yes, Casper, good point. And when you play your recorder, make sure that you sit straight, that your shoulders are relaxed, and that your arms are away from your body, and that your recorder is at a 45-degree angle. Anything else?
Maybe you can check if you can remember where the notes are that we have already learnt. Check where the A, B, C, D and G are.
Peter, I see that you've been making notes. Can you read out what you've been writing down, and I will follow your instructions?
Yes, good idea.
Yes, here is the list.
Number 1. Warm up with a breathing exercise. 2. Sit up straight with shoulders relaxed. Number 3. Left hand on the top holes of the recorder. Right hand holds the bottom of the recorder. Number 4. Make sure that the holes are closed properly. Pig snouts in holes. Number 5. Hold the recorder at a 45-degree angle from the body with elbows away from the body. Number 6.
Use your tongue to blow into the recorder.
Number 7. Blow gently like soap bubbles. Check if you remember where all the notes you have learnt are on the recorder. And oh, but those are letters from the alphabet. Yes, indeed, Peter. Last lesson we learnt that the music notes get their names from the alphabet.
Yes, but not all 26 letters of the alphabet, but only from the first 7 letters of the alphabet, the A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And we have already learned A, B, C, D, and G. 2 more letters to go.
That is correct, Miss Piggy. In fact, we also use those letters to build words, and we use those words to build a song. The Dad, Cab, Bag song.
Oh, yes. Can you play that song for Peter the pilot?
Not all songs are made of words. We can string together various letters to make melodies, like this children's song. Do you recognize the song?
Jingle bells.
Yes, Casper, and you will notice there is a new sign in our song. Those 2 lines are like a double door or a door and a gate at the end of the song, which means that the song has ended. Here you stop playing. But if we have these 2 little fellows standing guard at the door, one of them will be happy because he thinks you played the melody for him, but the other one will be unhappy because you only played it once, and there are 2 of them. So he will stop you and send you right back to the beginning so that you can play the melody one more time for him as well. So 2 dots equals 2 times. We call it a repeat sign because we have to repeat the song. For Jingle Bells, we actually change the melody at the end. So we skip the 4th line and play the ending with the lowest note, G, being the last note. Remember, it always sounds better if we end on the lowest note.
You can find a link to the song Jingle Bells below, and you can also find a link to the recorder before takeoff checklist.
I think I will follow the advice of the repeat sign and fly back home and come back for another repeat lesson because I learned so much today. I don't think that I will remember everything. I will also go and watch all those other lessons on YouTube that you mentioned so that I will be up to date. Thank you for your help. See you next time. Goodbye.